Hello, everyone. Welcome to Celsius 233, your go-to place for fiction book summaries. Today, we will journey through The Defiant Agents by Andre Norton. The Defiant Agents by Andre Norton, published in 1962, follows a group of Apache volunteers who are sent to colonize the alien planet Topaz. They awaken to find their minds altered to think and react like their ancestors, struggling to survive in an unknown and dangerous world while grappling with a new and ancient identity. This novel combines elements of science fiction and adventure in a gripping tale of heritage and survival. Plot summary. The office was dim, with no windows to break the plain walls, the only light coming from the 5 discs glowing ominously on the desk. These discs, a treasure trove of alien knowledge, had been compromised. Dr. Gordon Ash, Colonel Kelgaries, Florian Walder, and Dr. James Ruthven stared grimly at the discs. An enemy sleeper agent, planted among them years ago, had infiltrated their secrets. Now they had to act quickly. There was no time to lose. The project to colonize other worlds was at stake, and they had to secure Topaz before the enemy could take it. Ash and his team prepared the Apache, volunteers from a project meant to create a new kind of colonist, one with the instincts and skills of their ancestors. But something went wrong. The ship carrying them to Topaz crash-landed, and the Apache awoke not only on an alien world, but with their minds altered. The machine known as Redax had forced them to relive the lives of their forebears, making them think and react like Apache warriors from centuries ago. Travis Fox, an Apache trained as a modern scout, struggled to make sense of his surroundings. His head throbbed with confusion, haunted by memories that were not his own. He was torn between 2 worlds, the familiar, rational world of his time and the wild, instinct-driven reality of his ancestors. The alien landscape around him was no less bewildering. Plants and creatures unlike any he had ever seen lurked in the mist-covered valleys and forests. Yet there was a strange sense of familiarity, as if the land was calling out to the part of him that had always belonged to the earth. 2 mutant coyotes, Nalakaidu and Najinalta, accompanied him. These creatures were not ordinary animals, but had been altered to possess an intelligence that bordered on the human. They communicated with Travis in a way that was not quite speech but an understanding, a sharing of thoughts. The coyotes led him through the alien wilderness, hunting alongside him and providing companionship in this strange, hostile world. The crash had scattered the Apache group, but they eventually reunited. Like Travis, they were caught between the present and the past. Some, like Jill Lee, tried to balance the ancient instincts now awakened within them with their modern knowledge. Others, like Dekle, were distrustful and angry, blaming the white eyes, their term for the Westerners, for manipulating their minds and forcing them into this dangerous situation. The group faced a harsh reality. They were on an alien planet with no way of knowing if a rescue would come. They had to survive, and to do that, they had to rely on both the skills they had learned in the project and the instincts that now guided them. As they explored Topaz, they encountered creatures that seemed like a cross between animals from Earth and the truly alien. There were toad-faced grazers with horned noses and other bizarre beings that defied description. Food and water were their immediate concerns, and hunting became a vital part of their new existence. Travis, using the skills of his ancestors, fashioned weapons from the materials around him, including a knife made from the double horn of a creature they killed. He and the coyotes formed a hunting party, tracking the strange beasts of Topaz and providing for the group. But survival was not their only challenge. The group was divided. The Redax conditioning had affected each of them differently, and there was a growing tension between those who wanted to embrace the ways of the past and those who believed they needed to maintain their connection to the present. Travis found himself in a delicate position, caught between the 2 sides. He had to be careful, to speak softly and avoid provoking conflict. Yet, he also needed to assert some leadership if they were to survive in this new world. Buck, a wise and steady member of the group, understood the importance of unity. He advised Travis to take on the role of a scout, to explore the land and find a place where they could establish a secure camp. This, Buck believed, would help solidify their position and give them a sense of purpose. Travis agreed, taking Zoe, one of the younger men, with him. They would need to learn the land and the potential dangers it held, not just for their survival, but to find a defensible location for their rancheria. As they scouted, Travis and Zoe discovered more about Topaz. The land was wild and untamed, with mountains that loomed like the bones of the earth. There were no signs of human habitation, no paths or trails to follow, only the tracks of strange creatures and the whispering winds of an alien world. The mountains seemed to offer the best hope for a stronghold, a place where they could fortify themselves against any possible threat. Travis knew that they had to move quickly. The planet might appear deserted, but the tapes from the ancient civilization suggested otherwise. There could be remnants of that empire, dangers lurking just beyond the horizon. The days turned into weeks as they established their camp in a hidden valley among the mountains. The Apache worked together, building shelters and setting up defenses. But even as they created a semblance of home, the internal struggle continued. Travis found himself acting more like an Apache warrior than a modern man. He led hunts, crafted weapons, and planned their defense as if he were preparing for a raid against an enemy tribe. The Redact's conditioning was deep, pulling him further into the mindset of his ancestors. Meanwhile, tensions simmered within the group. Dekle and those who thought like him were increasingly vocal in their distrust of Travis and his leadership. They saw him as a tool of the White Eyes, someone who had brought them into this situation and could not be trusted. Travis knew he had to tread carefully. He needed to win over the younger men, to teach them how to survive while maintaining some connection to their modern selves. He took them on scouting missions, showing them the ways of the land and trying to bridge the gap between the old and the new. As they ventured further from their camp, they came across ruins, evidence of the ancient civilization that had once inhabited Topaz. The ruins were strange, alien, and yet there was a familiarity to them, as if they had been built with a purpose that resonated with something deep within Travis. He felt a pull towards these structures, a need to explore and understand them. But there was also a sense of danger, an awareness that they were not alone. The planet held secrets, and some of those secrets might not be welcoming. The group was tested again and again, not just by the alien environment, but by the growing tension within their ranks. Travis had to navigate the delicate balance between leading and pushing too hard. The Apache were proud, independent, and wary of authority. They were also haunted by the knowledge that they had been manipulated, that their minds had been altered by the Redact's machine. Trust was fragile, and the specter of betrayal loomed large. As they settled into a precarious existence on Topaz, the Apache began to adapt. They learned to hunt the alien creatures, to gather food and resources from the land. They became more attuned to their surroundings, their senses sharpened by the need to survive. Yet, even as they grew stronger in some ways, the psychological strain took its toll. The divide between the ancient and the modern was ever present, a constant reminder of the identity crisis that each of them faced. Travis found a measure of peace in the wilderness, a connection to the land that felt both new and ancient. The coyotes remained his closest companions, their silent understanding and loyalty a comfort in this world of uncertainty. Together, they scouted the land, mapping out the terrain and seeking any signs of other life. The question of what had become of the ancient civilization that once inhabited Topaz hung over them, an enigma that both fascinated and troubled Travis. In the end, they were a small group, alone on an alien world, facing the unknown with a mixture of courage, fear, and the resilience of a people who had survived against all odds. They were the defiant agents of their own fate, caught between the past and the future, between what they had been made to become and what they chose to be. Hope you had fun. If you're hooked, don't stop now. Continue with the Rest of Time Trader series by Andre Norton. You'll find them below or on Celsius 233. Remember, while our summaries capture the essence, they can never replace the full experience of reading the book. If this summary intrigued you, consider diving into the complete story, buy the book, and immerse yourself in Andre Norton's original work. Bye-bye, take care, have fun.